Nintendo's been doing a lot of cool stuff lately with the Nintendo Switch, games that they've been making, products that they've been putting out there. But they've also been doing a lot of things that are weird, in my opinion. Strangeness, right? And I question what is the strategy behind all this? So just today I woke up and I saw that Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, the original game that started it all on the Famicom, is coming to the US in its NES form, fully translated on the Nintendo Switch. A lot of people are excited for this. It's going to be only a $6 game. And they also have announced a collector's edition or an anniversary edition that comes with a replica game pack, with the whole box, the slipcover, the manual for the game. You get the digital download code as well, and then you get like a mini Nintendo Power collectible and art book, a whole package. I know a lot of people are going to be excited for this, but there is no physical game here is one of the things, right? I think some people can accept that. A lot of companies been doing this. Me personally, I like to have the game. If I'm buying a collector's edition, I'd like to have a physical copy of the game, right? This is going to be limited. This isn't the whole point of what my video is about here. This collector's edition is going to be limited while supplies last. We don't know what the supply is. Nintendo's very secretive with this. But my question is why is the digital game going to be limited? Not the anniversary edition. Forget that noise. That's fine and dandy for whoever wants it, if you can get it. Who knows? Nintendo's supply and, supply and demand and scalpers, the whole situation can be crazy, especially they just don't share numbers with people, so we don't know how that's going to go. But why is a digital game going to be limited? What's the thought process behind this? What's the strategy involved here? $5.99, cheap game, man. I'm gonna grab it. Get my 30 gold points or whatever. But before people say no, you're misunderstanding. It's a limited time for the collector's edition. It doesn't say that anywhere on here. This is the listing for the download. Check it out. Meet Marth and recruit some of the most beloved Fire Emblem characters in their 8-bit glory hole as you play through all 25 chapters of this classic Famicom tactical role-playing game, localized, released for the first time in North America for a limited time, bitch. What the hell does that mean? What is that? There, I unblocked it. It was behind my head. What does that mean for a limited time? I know what that means, but they're not telling us what date or anything. What the hell is the point of this, man, for a limited time for a digital download? They can't be bothered to host a game that's probably very small. I think it might say at the bottom here. Let's take a look. Look at this classic gameplay with a modern touch. You got like rewind, save states, and whatnot. You would have imagined this would have been a game that they would have put on Switch Online, but they're going to be selling it. So, okay, at least once you get it, you got it, right? Because them Switch Online NES Super Nintendo games, there's no guarantees with that. Like, they just remove them whenever they want. Say, F you, bitch. Right? Over 50 characters. I'm not the biggest Fire Emblem fan, but when I see NES games coming, it's like, you know what, dude? Like, yeah, I've played some of the Fire Emblem games. To go back to the roots, 30 megabyte roots would be pretty cool. 30 megabytes. That's probably one of the biggest reasons there's no physical edition of this. But if they would have printed these on a cartridge, people would buy them. Yeah, the game is $6 in the eShop, but if you sold the game for $40 or something, people would buy the shit out of it. I mean, does it make sense? No, but I understand the cartridges cost more than, what a 30 megabyte download file would cost. But yeah, the game's 30 megabytes. They couldn't be bothered to be able to host this for, very long, I guess. But we don't even know how long this is going to be. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light will only be available for a limited time. For a limited time, there's nothing here to say how long that limited time is. This game comes out in what? Month and a half or so. I'm blown away by this weirdness that Nintendo has done lately. 3D Mario All-Stars is a limited release both physically and digitally. And the one thing with that is there's an abundance of copies all over the damn place. You'd be hard pressed to not find a copy of that game out in the wild. I go to the store, they have more copies of that game than like the whole Switch section combined. It's freaking ridiculous. Like, there was a lot of worry with that one, but they overproduced like a mofo. And the limited nature of that physically was essentially like, hey, it's just going to be stopped being produced in March of next year, is the way it seemed to me. Physically, okay, that sucks for people who would want it afterwards. There'll be enough copies out there that you can get one on the secondary market, or maybe some straggler copies in the store, but you've been given ample notice. If you want it, get it, right? But then what about like the people afterwards? Digitally, it's just not available anymore, because that, I find that nuts. Everything is limited in nature. We're limited in nature. Obviously, a company's not going to produce a cartridge or a game forever. There's going to be a limited nature of it, but Nintendo's been pushing this a little crazy lately when it goes to the digital side of things. Like, why would this be limited, before the life of the Switch is over, right? Before the time that they announce that the eShop is shut down and closed, like they've done previously with their other consoles, right? Why wouldn't it just be available for the whole time? Is Nintendo scared of money? Is there something bigger going on here? Is it something, I almost think with some of this stuff there, their strategy may be that, hey, we don't think the interest is going to be there for an extended period of time, so let's create that fear of missing out and just get all those sales immediately, instead of wondering what our lifetime sales are going to be. Let's drop this now, say it's limited as fuh, pull in those profits and just celebrate, because then we don't have to worry about it after that, like wondering like, shit, okay, we only sold 10,000 units this quarter, whereas we who knows, maybe it'll sell 1 million over the next 2 years. No, let's just get all our sales right now and just account for that. I almost think that's a big part of what they're doing here with this limited nonsense. But why limited digitally? It's just to create that fear of missing out, that like pushing the sales immediately, instead of people sitting there like, it's only $6. I'll wait. And then you totally forget about it and you're playing something else, right? A lot of people, I guarantee, will buy this game and never play it. They'll just buy it, have it on their account, and never play it. That's probably one of the biggest things that's going on here. Nintendo doesn't care about you. Nintendo doesn't care about anyone but themselves. They're a business, and I don't necessarily hold that against them, because a business does need to, take care of themselves. They're in business for a reason, but they also have to put their customers in a position where the customer feels like, the company is doing things right. And unfortunately, that's just not the case with a lot of these businesses out there. They're not the most consumer friendly. They do these things where there had to have been some kind of board meeting where one guy in the corner was like jerking off and was like, hey, if we freaking limit all this shit, people buy it faster, we profit quicker and get our bonuses earlier. And they all high-fived each other and approved it. Something stupid happened here. And I'm just not that excited for the continuance of Nintendo doing these shenanigans. You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you watching. With that said, peace out. Bye-bye. Big ass thumb button in your face, and boom. Bye.